Hello, best ball family. Thanks for being here. Liam Murphy back to rip another best ball stream. Let's go. We're going to roll this 30-second clip just to let people stroll in here. All right. Again, thanks for being here, everybody. Today, I'm going to be ripping a draft over on drafters.com. You can use promo code ChessLiam if you're not up and running on Drafters. Put the link there for you. For those who don't know what Drafters is a total points contest, meaning weeks 1 through 17, however many points you score is your score. There are no playoff weeks, so I've got to fix my camera angle here. It is a $15 contest for their flagship. They also have a $2 contest, which is about to fill, but I think they'll have another one. $15, $500K to first. And I'm in this draft, by the way, need about 5 more. A very nice thing about Drafters is it has overlaid the past couple years. And if you don't know what overlay is, it means that the contest does not fill. And so for contests like Drafters, if it doesn't fill, it simply means you're competing with less people to win money. For a contest like Underdog or DraftKings with playoff weeks, if it doesn't fill, it simply means that teams that score the most points and are in third or fourth can now become playoff teams that wouldn't have been without the overlay. So for those looking to maximize their EV, their expected value, chasing overlay is definitely a good idea. Drafting early on Drafters is also fine to do. It's total points. So, you're trying to build a super team. Of course, Underdog has the marathon. I'm almost done with this article, which I have looked at the top scoring teams on Drafters the past 2 years. I'm honestly doing this stream to take a break from writing. I'm just formatting the article mostly. And like any good writer, as I write things, more things come. And I want to add more to the article. Is your mic right? My mic is right on my end. It says that I am using the Yeti. So it's good to me. Let's go, Drafters. Let's get it. What's up? Justin Fields is struggling. Mike sounds good. I mean, yeah, like Captain Osimo. It needs to be asked. Are you a plant from another streamer? Trying to get in my head here. Because Gavin's got my back here. Mike sounds good. Just kidding, man. Again, you can use promo code ChessLiam if you're looking to get up and running on Drafters. I believe that gets you a $100 deposit match and gets you a free ticket. I also have something exciting coming down the pipeline for those who subscribe to my best ball site, beatbestball.com. That should be rolling out tomorrow, if not by Monday. And yeah, hoping gonna have my article done very soon. How do Drafters contests compare to Underdog in your opinion? The ADPs are different. I think it is a hardcore group of people, so it could be argued that the ADPs are kind of sharp on Drafters. I've not made rankings nor inputted rankings yet for Drafters. Going to have that soon on the site. I just draft based off of ADP, and I mean, I know the guys I like because I literally spent the time ranking them. But it's different. It's definitely different at different spots. Of course, Drafters is a PPR site. 3 more, by the way, for this contest. What is up? Any other questions? Let me know. Good morning. Good morning. Sounds echoey. Yeah, I'm gonna change my desk around and see if that will help a little bit with the echo. I ticked echo cancellation in StreamYard. So, um, I've done 59 so far of my 150. Drafters only gives you top 5 picks. Yeah, and it's also really nice for those hunting out these smaller buy-in options, such as the puppy, the $5. Drafters almost always has a $2 running, so once this one fills, they will roll out another one. So for those of you who like to volume draft the lower dollar buy-ins, plenty of options for that on Drafters. Looks like 2 more to fill this draft. The only thing is, as Drafters overlays, it just means that it's not quite as popular as a site as DraftKings or Underdog yet, which means that sometimes you will wait for a room to fill. And for those willing to volume draft it, that's honestly a good thing because people don't like waiting. And so it just means it's more likely to overlay. Of course, July and August, things tend to pick up. You can also see there's some bonus rewards here. Draft 10, get a bonus ticket. Draft 25, get another one. Draft 50, get 2. Draft 100, get 3. And max the contest and get $100 and a t-shirt. I don't have a great way of checking this. Like the stream, boys. Listen to there's a chat box and whatever this is from Mr. Good luck, good luck, good luck, good luck. I guess, yeah, I don't know. So I remember last year I was volume drafting drafters in like August as the contest was coming close to filling, and I would just see a lot of people chatting, be like, "Is this Liam?" But obviously I couldn't interact doing a bunch of drafts. My friend Tolan got 5th in drafters. Tolan and I split a main event in the FFPC, and Tolan told me he watched my streams about overlay, fired it on drafters, took my input on some players, and he got 5th for 50K. So shout out Tolan. He's also a moderator in my Discord. And if you want to get notified for these streams, make sure you join that Discord. The link to join is below. And if you like these streams, please do subscribe. I am on the road to 5K. Let's do this. Yeah, this is Tolan's team. Dak and Russ, Ramondre, James Conner, Rashad White, Mostert, Damian Harris, Deuce Vaughn. So unfortunately, Ramondre got hurt for him. Ramondre, by the way, just did sign a contract. I think that's very smart for Ramondre, who, I mean, he's a running back, and he honestly, like, he's not that special of a player. He's a big guy. I like him, but he's not explosive or anything, so I would take that money while he can. A.J. Brown, CeeDee Lamb, DJ Moore, Tyler Lockett, Jordan Addison, Michael Wilson, Puka Nacua, Deontay Hardy, and Quez Watkins. And then Jake Ferguson, Sam Laporta, Greg Dulcich. So good job, Tolan, getting 5th for 50K. I feel like most people who use the chat are tilting. Maybe. One more person to get this bad boy launched. I've always found that mornings is typically the time to join. Like for those who work from home, jumping in at 9 a.m., you'll find drafts fill. 2 weekends are better too. And the contest was filling pretty regularly, but June is just kind of a slower time. All right. Again, if you're not up and running on Drafters, you can use promo code Chess. So much Hardy and Harris. Yeah, me too, man. Harris just got injured. What are you going to do? All right. This is my 60th draft. I know some people ask for some Drafters content, so I do a lot of Underdog streams. We do some DraftKings, so we'll start mixing in some Drafters as well. I'm in the 8th spot. Good luck. You can also see how many drafts someone's done, which I think is a nice little feature. So I can see that this is Squirrel Murphy's 8th and JRC's 81st and Din's 6th and Patrick's 1st and my 60th. Good luck, me. The contest is kind of top heavy compared to years past, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing. It is like the marathon structure. 500K to first, 10% of that to fifth, and 20% of first to 10th. So, it really rewards first place. So, you should just draft for first. Some people like to do suboptimal things in playoff contests, such as like grabbing players that don't benefit them but really hurt another lineup, or grabbing like a quarterback they don't need. Obviously, anything that is not purely optimizing your own team is terrible for a total points contest, because you're not just competing against your pod, you're competing against every single person. Is Drafters the site that changed Taysom Hill's position? No, that was FFPC. Drafters does not change positions. And in fact, Drafters has Taysom as a tight end. So he is a player you got to deal with on Drafters. People are picking Click. I like Quick. I like to see it. Let's get out of there before I accidentally auto a player I don't want. Let's use the chat. What's up, fellas? AJ Brown, huge single week upside. Let's go. In general, for total points contests, getting players that have really high weekly upside is even more important, because, like a contest like Underdog, you need those spikes to come at the right time in a playoff week, what have you. For a total points contest, you do not. You just need them to spike in general. What's up, Rishi? Appreciate it. Someone's going unique here with a Waddle reach. I'm going to take Marvin Harrison. I'm not afraid of Marvin being a rookie. I just think that he's going to walk into a 25%-ish target share and produce from the get-go. This Unreal says, Liam, what's up? Dorito says, just trying to defend my title. Okay. All right, big man. I don't think so, Dorito. Yeah, I love Marvin. And on the topic of unique combinations, they are even more powerful in something like Drafters, something like the Marathon, because, again, we know that people in general do not draft unique combos. You can read my free article over at beatbestball.com on that topic. Just to refresh, check it out here. But as Underdog released the data, we know that Lamb was paired with common stack partners such as Amon-Ra 20% of the time. He was also paired commonly with Garrett Wilson 12%, Devontae Adams 12.5%, Nick Chubb 10%, Saquon 7%. The guys at the 2-3 turn, he was paired with sub 1% or sub 0.5%. Lamb and T. Higgins 0.4%. Lamb and Derrick Henry, who Derrick Henry was a 2-3 turn, 0.71%. So a unique combo even more powerful in a total points contest, because it just means you're competing with far less people, right? Where, okay, I want AJ Brown and Marvin Harrison, two players I like, but there's going to be roughly 1,000 or so, if not more, AJ Brown and Marvin Harrison starts. If I had grabbed AJ Brown and Deebo Samuel, that already would be really unique. So unique combo is something I like to try even more on drafters. Of course, you don't need to try it with your first two picks. You can try it later in the draft as well. And I got a free article coming out on total points contest. A lot of it's descriptive in nature as it is, what has worked in the past, but there's still some things you can glean there. As you can see, wide receiver very heavy. I think some other advice for total points contest is you simply cannot punt off any position as far as getting production. It doesn't mean you can't draft them late. So it's okay if you draft your tight ends late, but they can't be awful. You cannot be buried by um, the field out of position. I also think you need to get solid QB production. Like if you go two QB and you go Drake May and JJ McCarthy, it's just not going to work unless one of them is a top 5 QB, which they're not going to be. Josh Allen, a 4th round ADP on drafters. I've gotten him as far as pick 47. Seems pretty insane. I love Zay Flowers' single week upside. Um, I know some people are down on him. I am not, and I really don't get those who are like quoting splits of Flowers when Mark Andrews was on the field. When I don't know, it was his first couple of games in the NFL. You know, you're too wide out here. Okay, I like Kirk a lot. Relatively chalky versus reaching on a guy, but that's fine. We'll get unique later in the draft. So we got 4 stud wideouts here: AJ Brown, Marvin Harrison, Zay Flowers, Christian Kirk. Several with huge single week upside, and several who, like Kirk, I think should be he doesn't have quite the single week upside as some players, but a very consistent guy. Even if it wasn't the beginning of the year, splits are overrated. Yeah, I mean, agreed somewhat, but it just is lacking so much context, such as Mark Andrews returning from injury. You got guys like Odell out of town. Anyone want to guess the most common player on the winning drafters team last year? The top 100 teams? Because I've pulled a bunch, this is all going to come out in my article, but I've pulled a bunch of that. So let me pull up some stuff and we can have some fun this stream. What do you guys think is the most common player that was on top 100 teams last year? We got guesses of Mostert, Laporta, Kyron, Puka. I'll give you guys a couple more minutes to guess here. How about this? Give a guess at each position. The most popular quarterback, running back, wideout, and tight end. So we're doing this again. Delete your guesses. I will tell you the most popular overall after though. Who is the most popular player that was at QB, running back, wideout, and tight end on the top 100 teams from last year? So I need 4 names from you. This looks better, right? For you guys, at least. For me, it's terrible because I can't see the players. We got a Stroud, Mostert, Puka, Laporta. We got a Goff, CMC, Puka, Laporta. We got an Achane, Laporta. We got a Love, Mostert, Reed, Laporta. Dak, Kyron, CD, Laporta. The correct answer is Dak Prescott, coming in on 30% of top 100 teams. Kyron Williams, coming in on 43% of top 100 teams. Puka Nacua, the most common guy, on 47% of top 100 teams. And of course, Sam Laporta, coming in on 32 of the top 100 teams. In the top 10, it is instead Dak, Kyron, Lamb, and Laporta. So almost the same players, but Lamb was more common than Puka on top 10 teams. CMC was on 0 of the top 10 teams. Fun fact. It was hard to build a top 10 team with CMC for many reasons. The replaceability of the position, the players he correlated with. Okay. I had it open on my phone to make the picks, but I can't do that. All right, let's go Jaden Reed. I've not been taking a lot of Reed. Wow, ETN at pick 56. Yeah, what a steal. ETN's a guy I like, so when he falls, and he will fall for whatever reason, definitely a guy I like to take. I've not been taking a lot of Reed, but I want exposure to all the Packers wideouts. And even though I'm not as into him, he can have big weeks. Okay. Yeah, these running backs are just like all the same to me. Mixon, Cook, White. Let's go Kyle Pitts and figure out who comes back to us. Kyle Pitts, huge weekly upside. Really, like, the only question with Pitts is he healthy? And I would just have to assume he is after his MCL injury. He was definitely hobbled last year. Really no logical reason for Pitts to be a 6th round pick and Drake London to be a 1-2 turn pick. So we got 5 wideouts, all with different bye weeks. Nice little bonus there. And we got what we hope to be an elite tight end. Tolan says, is Pitts actually good? Yes, Pitts is good, guys. Athletic freak. He is good. I just think he's been pretty unlucky. But this is the last year, If he doesn't produce with Kirk Cousins in tow, not injured, then come on. Who is my favorite football team? The Buffalo Bills. I'm a fan of them. Do you think that Penix, pronunciated that one wrong a couple times already, is worth taking on DK? No. If you wanted to handcuff Kirk with him on a team you really like, that you took Kirk on and you took also London and Pitts, I'd be okay with it. But I wouldn't be doing it much myself. It's just generally not worth risking a 0 at QB. And you do not benefit as much if the player is a hit. Where if you take any running back, any wideout, any tight end that is rarely drafted and they're a hit, you can really separate from the field. If you take Penix and Penix is the QB8 on the year, that's nice, but it's not winning you anything by itself. Where, like pretend no one drafted Puka last year. Pretend no one drafted Kyron last year. And you were just like, I'm going to take this 3rd string guy. Boom. separation, winning equity right there. Running Bear said, "Give me the olds." Let's check out his squad. Amon-Ra, Mike Evans, DJ Moore, Hurts, Andrews, Deontay. I mean, brother, this is not that old. Okay, you got Mike. He's old. The other players are not that old. Like, you don't have like an old squad. I would say would be like Saquon, Derrick Henry. Yeah, you gotta have Hopkins. There's way older squads. All right, let's go Swift. I like Swift's ability to score far more touchdowns this year on the Bears than he did on the Eagles, with Hurts stealing a bunch of touchdowns. Also, I want to be betting on the Bears, so when I don't have any of their pass catchers, it's kind of nice to just take Swift and hope a lot of the touchdown production funnels through him. Kyler's fine for my team. Obviously, he stacks with Marvin, but I'm gonna push it just because I can find QBs that, like, Kyler has to kind of average 25 points a game to be a must-have click here. Is there a Chess Liam code for this site? Absolutely. Promo code Chess Liam. Get up and running on drafters. Okay, and now I'm going to take one of Warren or Moss. I think Moss, the hope is he scores 10 plus touchdowns, which I could see him easily doing. And with Warren, the hope is, just a bunch of PPR usage. He's explosive. Moss is not explosive. Moss is basically Najee Harris, but he's on the Bengals and he's not on the Steelers. We're shuffling, by the way. We got Warren this time. If you miss one pick, you go on auto draft, so just make sure to disable that. Yeah, like, I don't draft Najee, and I tweeted this out about him yesterday. I said, top 100 teams in the drafters total points contest who selected Najee Harris the past 2 years. 0 2 years ago, and last year he was on 3 teams. I said he's cheaper than ever, but he remains as a player with questionable single-week upside who needs to fall into the end zone 2+ times to hit a spike. And then this guy, good on him. He says, sometimes I refuse to ignore my redraft value players in best ball. Damn good point. What he's saying, and I think this is good reflection on his part, is he's saying, I like Najee in redraft, where safety is a bigger part of the game, right? Locking in your 10 points or whatever is meaningful. In best ball, though, it's not as meaningful, where we really want to hunt players who can score 25, 30, 40 points. And what would it take for Najee to do that? Because he's not an explosive breakaway runner. It means that he just needs to get a bunch of goal line opportunities. Where Warren is at least explosive. Like, he didn't hit any huge games last year, but he did break away some runs. And so, okay, he did it in I think it was the Cleveland game. So he just needs to do that twice in a game. And he can get there on some PPR scam usage. While, Moss to me is Najee Harris in the sense that Moss is not that explosive either, but he's on the Bengals. So I like the touchdown equity far more on the Bengals offense than the Steelers. Who would draft a better best ball team, Hikaru or Magnus? I would say Magnus. Magnus grinded soccer, and he also seems more humble than Hikaru. So I think you have to have some humility in your takes, you know. So I like how I've built this team. I want to be building a lot of teams this way, where I got 5 wideouts I feel good about. I got an upside swing at tight end. I got 2 running backs I feel good about. We're going to take Jaden Daniels here, a quarterback who I think has huge single week upside through his rushing production, and most likely another quarterback. So, you know, like the 2v2 would be, do I want to go Swift and Kyler and Tajay Spears, or would I allow to go Swift, Warren, and Jaden Daniels? And I like how I did it. Okay. And let's take Chase Brown. Chase Brown is another swing at upside, obviously, where I'm really okay taking one of Moss or Brown in every draft. I think both of them have downside risk in the cases that the other one just cannibalizes the offense. But they both have upside too. Chase Brown is explosive. So people are citing stats like, oh, he only played 10 snaps with Joe Burrow. He was a rookie running back. He was hurt for some of the year. I don't care about that. I care about what's going to happen this year. I think Moss was signed to be the grinder, to be the red zone back. But if Brown were to win that, super explosive guy. Ramondre just signed a contract. Yeah, we talked about that. I think in general, even if I weren't to take Reed, but like starts that go like 4 wideouts, 3 running backs seem pretty solid to me. I don't mind the way the guy next to me is drafting, where he got his 4 wideouts, he got an elite QB, and then he's taken 5 straight running backs. Similar to how I built, but I took a detour for an extra wideout and a tight end, so I only have 3 running backs. Explosive Hamstrings would be a good band name. That is now copyrighted. I'm sorry you said it in my YouTube chat, so I own that idea. Totally kidding. By the way, guys, if you enjoy this content, help me out. I'm on the road to 5K. If you want to know when I go live on stream, make sure to follow me on Twitter at ChessLiam and join the Discord. And I'll have an article coming out later today, if not tomorrow. Just kidding. Google owns it. Checkmate. Wow. So running back really, not really used to all of these guys being gone by now, but it happens. So I definitely was, I think, planning to hit running back here, which we might still. But in general, it's good not to panic in these drafts. I've built balanced enough where I can do anything, and I'm not willing to wide receiver value. Obviously, we're going to take Trevor here to go with Kirk. Trevor as my second QB seems like a slam dunk. It also allows me to stop at 2 QB, just Daniels and Lawrence, and I think I might stop at 2 a large portion of the time. This guy takes Goff to go with Laporta and Jameson Williams. You can see wide receiver really dies up by now. Okay, I'm going to take Rico Dowdle, who I think is just one of the bigger upside swings you can take. You take Rico and hope that he's the guy for Dallas, you know? So I took Brown and Dowdle this draft. I've definitely taken Zeke and Moss and others. With these ambiguous, valuable situations for any person who drafts reasonable amount of volume, I would not be taking a heavy stand in one way. And you can see like guys like, okay, Charbonnet goes ahead of Dowdle. I like Charbonnet, but I think unless an injury happens to Ken Walker, he doesn't have quite the upside of a Dowdle who, yeah, okay, Charbonnet's got the draft capital on his side, but we think Dallas has the better offense. And I mean, Zeke is a good pass protector. He could be a great PPR scam. I do draft Zeke ahead of Dowdle, but I think Dowdle's a perfectly reasonable gamble at upside. Josh saying Rico's the running back that could bury me. I don't like him at all, so I always find a different pick. Yeah, I mean, he's never had a bunch of career touches, but he is explosive. And I think it's like maybe he's at least the goal line. So I'm not willing to get buried by a 12th to 13th round running back. I know Jahan Dotson didn't come to you here, but I feel like you take McCaffrey over him a lot. Yeah, I'm doing that on purpose. I started the year into Dotson, and then I don't know. I could just so easily see Luke McCaffrey beating Dotson out. Now, if Dotson has some spikes, like how good do you have to be spiking? You don't have to be that good. Gabe Davis spikes, right? So I think that is some merit to the Dotson pick, and I do need to force him in a little bit, but currently I'm taking a bit of a stand that McCaffrey, who's definitely risky, right? Like I'm not saying you should blindly follow me on this. But I like it. Yeah, the only way again, I wrote up all the running backs over on my site that go in the late rounds. And yeah, like the only way Dowdle and Zeke both disappoint is if they do this like Khalil Herbert signing. But from what I can tell, that's pure speculation and wish casting at this point in the season. There is no merit to that actually happening. I think Jermaine Burton is a great swing of upside to add to the team. There's definitely teams in the contest that got him far later in ADP. Uh, would have taken Wright as well, another player I like, but have to settle for Gibson here. Gibson's already getting steam that he's going to be a 1B to Ramondre. It makes Ramondre kind of a tough click on a middling offense, but you know, we know Gibson can be a pass catcher. He's explosive, so he can have some high weeks. You hate your Ty Chandler pick? Yeah, I mean, look, the running backs from Ty Chandler to, you know, like Jalen Wright is just a spin of the wheel. So far we have a 2, 5, 6, 1. Daniels and Lawrence, Swift, Warren, Brown, Dowdle, Gibson, AJ Brown, Marvin Harrison, Zay Flowers, Kirk, Jaden Reed, Jalen Burton. With Pitts, I like going 3 tight end more than 2 because I view him kind of like I view Lamar, which is they are a better and best ball player where they have high weekly upside, but questionable floors. So Lamar, even I sometimes go 3 QB, whereas Josh and Hurts, I always go 2 QB because I think their floor is so high. So I'm going to tack on 2 tight ends. That leaves 4 more spots to play with. In which case, might just do 2 and 2 on that. So a 2, 7, 8, 3, I think is reasonable. If the perfect quarterback sitting there, maybe. With it being a PPR site, how much are you taking into account that a more of pass catcher back over a guy like Derrick Henry? Okay, that was a bit of jumble there, but what he's asking is, with it being PPR, how much do you factor in guys that catch passes versus a guy like Derrick Henry? And the answer is, it is a factor to consider, but I wouldn't go overboard on it, especially at the top of drafts. And the example I would give is the year Cooper Kupp really smashed during BBM2. I was like, oh, I'm going to take him on DraftKings, but not as much on half point PPR. And it turns out when guys are really good, they smash on both sides, you know? So even a guy like Gabe Davis, who was comfortably better on half point due to him scoring touchdowns, he's still a solid pick in PPR because when you score a touchdown and 80 plus yards, you have a good fantasy week, right? So I think as you get cheaper in drafts, you can think more about who's going to be a PPR scam. But I don't go overboard on it personally. And my rankings are kind of set for you to make your own decision on that. Heard you're winning 500K on drafters this year. Amen. From your lips to God's mouth. Like taking Eckler later. I'm not as into Eckler just because I could see him going totally to 0. And I think it's really questionable if he'll be a PPR scam attached to a Jaden Daniels offense who doesn't really profile as a big checkdown guy. But I think like later in the draft, like 15th round plus is what I meant. But just keep in mind, like, so unfortunately we are streaming, so we did not get Luke McCaffrey. Maybe we would have elsewhere. Wow, just kind of a gross spot in this draft for us. Let's go Conklin. I like Conklin a lot. Did you see the Kendrick show yesterday? Kendrick Bourne? What does that mean? Jaleel McLaughlin plus Bo Nix could be a good scam. Yeah, I see that. Yeah, like Nico Collins, right? Like Nico Collins was a smash on both sides. Braylon Allen, I got a lot of 20th round Braylon Allen, so I'm a little hesitant to steam him up, chase him up. I'm gonna take one of these guys too now. There's really no one worth taking this high. And I'm just gonna shuffle it. I think likely has more upside. And we got him. Boom. Kendrick Lamar. Did he talk about best ball? Oh. Yeah, so we like the team. Pitts, Conklin, Likely. I think that's a fun mix at tight end where Pitts and Likely are huge upside swings. And Conklin is too, because the hope for Conklin is he's just the second target for the Jets. Hey, we keep it business over here, Chris. People are not coming to this channel for my Kendrick Lamar takes. I studied abroad one year in New Zealand, though, and there's this like really serious music dude. And I was just fucking with him, and I said, I don't know who Kendrick Lamar is. And it like really, really got to his head. He's like, what do you mean you don't know who he is? So then I stopped doing that. Gavin said, man, I'm buried at running back. I mean, you got to be willing to crack some eggs to make an omelet, you know? And what I mean by that is you got to be willing to risk some teams. All right, guys. We're giving out a free drafters ticket. Shout out drafters. What we're going to do is start writing the word drafters in chat, and in 20 seconds, I'm going to click, and the first name I highlight, you're getting the free ticket. So you have to have said the word drafters. Start writing it now. I'm counting to 20 seconds roughly, and I'm going to just click. I have my button at the bottom of the screen, and the first name I click is coming to it. Let's just start at 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom. Peppertoni, you won. Peppertoni, what is your drafter's name? We're going to give away a ticket most of our drafters streams. Peppertoni, what is your drafter's name? Rigged? Come on, bro. It's not rigged. How am I going to rig that for Peppertoni? I looked at his goose and I'm like, you know what? Fuck the rest of them. The goose is getting it. Peppertoni, brother, I need a drafter's name. You've won a free ticket, a free $15 ticket. We'll be doing more giveaway, guys. Don't worry. Most drafter streams, I think, will give away a ticket. You demand a recount? How about just in the next stream we'll get you? The goose is juiced. Pepper, I need an account username, and if you're not telling me it, you better create your account real quick, use the promo code, and we'll get you your free ticket. Man, things are barren here. Yeah, let's go whiteout. I like DJ Chark. 17th round price tag. Is it Peppertoni on drafters, brother? Let me know, because I'm going to message them, and I'm not willing to go back and forth on this. I like Will Shipley as an upside swing, just taking a stab at the Peppertoni on drafters. All right, man. I'm DMing that to drafters. Oh, God. I just moved my HDMI cable. Sorry if the stream just dropped. All right, brother. You win. Congrats. We'll be doing more giveaways, though, guys. Hey, drafters gotcha. All right, so the team so far, Jaden Daniels, Trevor Lawrence, DeAndre Swift, Jalen Warren, Chase Brown, Rico Dowdle, Antonio Gibson, Will Shipley, A.J. Brown, Marvin Harrison, Zay Flowers, Christian Kirk, Jaden Reed, Jermaine Burton, G.J. Chark, Kyle Pitts, Conklin Likely. Honestly, I don't think I need to tack on another running back. I could just live with my bets of I got a piece of the Bears, I got a piece of the Steelers. I'm taking a swing at the Bengals backfield. I'm taking a swing at the Cowboys backfield. I probably got the 1B on the Patriots. I got a pure question mark on the Eagles. You kind of hope that he is the handcuff, though, to Saquon. But I think I will tack on another running back because, I mean, Brown's a question. Dowdle's a question. Shipley's obviously a major question. And so let's say like Brown hits in a big way, but Dowdle doesn't. I think another running back could be nice. You're still here? What is that to me? Thoughts on the leg up sidekick? We talked about that yesterday. You can kind of look at my stream there. I think it's on the site's end to police these things. I think best ball is a different game than a game like poker or chess, which is a lot more solved. So it's only really going to be as good as your inputs. I think it's unquestionably bad for the game if people who don't know anything about best ball can just draft. And anything that's an advanced auto draft, like anything that's auto drafting for you, is definitely over the line. If it's scraping data on users, it's over the line. But Yeah, I don't know fully what it's doing, so I'm not the most educated on what it is. And I'm not worried about it myself. How was your trip to Vegas? It was good, man. Didn't run deep in any tournaments, so that was bad, but had fun playing. Thought I played well. I'm not going to be able to play the main event. I'm going to Ireland in July. So I think I'm going to buy like 10% in a player or two and just get my sweat that way. Dylan Lobby? Yeah, I mean, Dylan Lobby is fine, but it's kind of hard to see the huge single week upside. And people are freaking at quarterback. We got Darnold selection. We got a Minshew selection. I'm still team AOC over Minshew, by the way. Yeah, like what French did here, I would never do. Lamar, and then you invest in Love, and then you take another quarterback. I don't see the reason, right? Like you've made your bed with two expensive quarterbacks, both who should be elite. That is not a case where I would tack on a third. Um, sure. Let's go Evan Hull. There was some rumblings that Sermon's the two, but I think Trey Sermon sucks. So let's hope. Let's hope it's Hull. Thoughts on Hull? Someone asked. I've been drafted a lot of him. He's drawing hugely live to be a zero. I think he would be viewed similar to Chase Brown if he didn't get hurt last year. I think he's got the edge as the pass catching back at minimum. But yeah, I mean he's obviously large zero potential. And there's a third guy, Goodson, who's also an athletic freak. Let's take Khalif Raymond, attached to a good offense. You hope he's the third elite in ESPN Open score last year. Um, and I like the squad. So we got Daniels and Lawrence at QB. So I'm really hoping that Lawrence is my steady Eddie, gives me a couple games, and Jaden Daniels gives me some huge games with his legs. Some games, like 80 yards and a touchdown type of games. DeAndre Swift, Jalen Warren, Chase Brown, Rico Dowdle, Gibson, Will Shipley, Evan Hull. Need Swift and Warren to be pretty big hits, and then need like three of these guys to work out. And, like if all Will Shipley did is give you 130-point game a year, that can be enough. AJ Brown, Marvin Harrison, Zay Flowers, Christian Kirk, Jaden Reed, Jermaine Burton, DJ Chark, Cleve Raymond. Really strong wide receiver room. 5 pretty studs. And then Jermaine, a swing of upside. DJ Chark, if he has, like 4 20-point games over the course of a year, that's pretty good. Cleve Raymond, maybe like 2 to 3. And then Pitts Conklin likely seems like a perfectly cromulent tight end room. Pitts, huge single week upside, likely does too. And Conklin, kind of hoping for some more PPR scam. So yeah, this was fun getting on drafters. Again, if you're just tuning in, you can use promo code Cheslium to get up and running on drafters. Make sure Pepper Tony said DJ Chark is Quentin Johnston, but for free. That's how I've been viewing it. I think DJ Chark is a bet against Quentin Johnston. Where you're hoping Quentin is so bad he just doesn't see the field anymore. And DJ Chark does. And if not, if all he is the wide receiver 4, that still has value. I mean, DJ Chark gave us some spikes with Bryce Young. Now he gets Justin Herbert. A 27-point game, a 28-point game, an 18-point game. Of course, this was with him being essentially the 2 in Carolina, and he will not be the 2 for the Chargers. But where better quarterback play, he could get there. So I like this team. I'll definitely be back to do more drafters in the future, but going to get back to finishing this article. Appreciate you guys. Make sure to join the Discord in the link below. And have a great day. See you tomorrow.